Larry Legend, what's good, bro? I see you cooking these dudes.
I always knew how good I was.
Will never, ever, ever be.
Well, stargazing, life goes on, I need all my babies.
What's up, YouTube? It's Tyler Knight, Toontas Life. I'm about to be talking about why Larry Bird is top 5, in my opinion. Basically, me making the case for Larry Bird. There's some people in the media that don't think that Larry Bird is top 5 when he should be. There's some people that put Larry in the top 5, but put some players over him that I don't agree with, which is like Kareem, Bill Russell. My top 5 is Michael Jordan, LeBron, then you have Kobe, and then you have, for me, it's Larry, and then the last one I always struggle with for the 5. It's interchangeable. You could put Kareem there. I probably would put Kareem there. Yeah, Kareem in the 5. Kareem at 5. I can't put Shaq over Kareem. Like, you can, but I don't think I would. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I would say that. Sometimes when I was younger, I used to put Wilt up there, but it's like the amount of championships that Wilt won. I think he had, like, what was it, 2, something like that. And then he lost to Bill Russell a bunch of times. So it's like. And then Kareem was also dominating around that time, and all the way up to he was dominating all the way up to like Magic Johnson times. When Magic Johnson got there, he was still like winning. So I'd put Kareem in the top 5. But for Larry Bird, the reason why I would put Larry Bird at 4 is because based off of his accomplishments. Let me just list his accomplishments in the 13 years he's been playing in the NBA. 3-time NBA champion. This is in 13 years. 3-time MVP. 12-time All-Star. 9-time All-NBA first team. 3-time three-point shootout champion. I mean, like, he was the best three-point shooter in the league back then, so that was a given. And 1980 NBA Rookie of the Year. You know what I'm saying? He won that over Magic Johnson. The same guy in that same year that went to the finals, averaged a triple-double, and won a championship for his team as a rookie. So, like, he went against that guy and blew him out the freaking stadium. Like, it wasn't even close for the Rookie of the Year. Larry Bird won that easily. So, it's like, he started off great and ended off his career great. His last year, he averaged like 20 points, and he went through like some back injuries, a whole lot of stuff, but he was still playing decent. Like, a lot of players don't end off their career in that way. A lot of players end off their career averaging 20 points. It's only the greats. So only Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, and I can't think of really anybody else that averaged 20 at the end of their career. Was still averaging over 20 points, no matter what. Like, all the back injuries, you're old, people call you washed, you're still averaging 20 points. LeBron's ridiculous. LeBron's still averaging the same amount of points he averaged in his prime, and rebounds and assists. Like, he's still playing and still generating the same type of stats. Like, that guy, that's why I put him up there. That's why I put him up at number 2. It's like Jordan, LeBron, and then I have Kobe, and then I have Larry. What LeBron's doing right now, I haven't seen. In that 13 years of playing, he did all of that, and he's still one of the top scorers. He's still one of the top scorers all time. 897. So yeah, the only person that played less games than Larry Bird was Elgin Baylor. You know, if you guys know Elgin Baylor, he was a problem. George Gervin is 46. at 46, 791 games. Elgin Baylor is the only player that played less games, and he's over him. So, Larry Bird is one of those guys, and he did a lot in a short period of time. That's why I feel like I put him up there. Jordan did a lot in a short period of time. That's why I still put him up there too. He didn't play no 20 years like LeBron and Kobe. All these guys played less amount of games, way less amount of games. Still in the top 40 for the scoring list. Still up there with the all-time assists, the rebounds list. He's an overall player, so he's up there. His grit, the mental game he plays. He plays he covers all areas. He's almost the perfect basketball player. He covers all areas: the mental game, the physical game, and he's probably one of the best teammates you could probably have, because they followed the way he played, the way he facilitated, the way he moved the ball. Everybody else on the team bought into that, and he was the system, as people would say in the comments from the last video or the video before that. He was the system. He was the Celtics system. So the way they passed the ball, the way they looked for cutters and facilitated and got the ball right away behind the back passes and no look passes. But they always knew a cutter was coming through, so they always threw it, and there was someone there. So they had everybody bought into that system of playing team basketball, and he just played the game the right way. And he was flashy. I said Luka is more flashy than Larry Bird. That's very debatable. But yeah, Larry Bird has his own way of playing. There's certain things that are flashy, and there's certain things that are just whatever the defense is giving him, whatever we have at the time, whatever his options are, he's gonna get it done, no matter what the circumstance. And when it gets to a point where it's nobody else would be able to get that shot off, nobody else would be able to get that pass off, Larry Bird's gonna get it done. That's why it looks crazy. That's why it looks flashy. But I don't think he's actually aiming to be flashy. That's just his game. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if you agree with me with the top 5. If you think Larry Bird is a GOAT, make the case for Larry Bird. If you think it's top 3, make the case for Larry Bird about that. But my top 5 is definitely Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Larry, and then Kareem. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.
Now stay tuned for your daily devotion.
Many times have something happen in your life and you let your emotions eclipse the truth of God's word. You feel abandoned, but his word says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. You feel when you're praying, he's not listening, but the word says he hears the cries of his children. You feel you're not going to be able to get through the season financially, but the word says we have never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. You feel he does not love you, but the word says that while you was yet a sinner, Christ demonstrated his love by dying for you. You feel, but the word says. You feel, but the word says. You feel, but the word says. You feel, but the word says.
Larry Legend, what's
One thing
good,
I
bro?
do know-
I see you cooking these dudes.
I always knew how good I was.
What's up, YouTube? It's Tyreek Knight and Toon Ties Life. Yeah, that's my live stream. I'm about to be reacting to some Larry Bird today. The first video, let me get the first video. So the first video is when Kareem disrespected Larry Bird and instantly regretted it. So yeah, this seems like an interesting video. Kareem is one of those legends. A lot of people say Kareem's the GOAT. A lot of people say that he he's the GOAT because he had the most points at one point, um, and he changed the game in a lot of ways. He played well in two eras, got a bunch of championships. So it's like Larry Bird going against Kareem. It's a video to watch. It's something that should be interesting. So we're about to get into it. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Well, not 1,000. 100,000, 10,000 is the next step. I keep on saying 1,000. I got to 1,000 a long time ago. Got to 4,000. Now I'm trying to get to 10 that get to 10K subscribers. Yeah, but let's get into the video. About to add this to the stage. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Tough. Ooh. Trey ball. Wow. Okay, I definitely seen this clip before. Oh, I never seen that scene. They never show that. They never show when Larry Bird helps out the guy that was about to crash out. They never show that. They only show this, and then Kurt Rambis or whatever he's called, his name.
Larry Bird was trying to soften it. Kareem, you don't want to get those big guys really mad, do you? Well, they're up there with those elbows that can hit you right between the eyes. Watch this. Bird and Kareem fight for the rebound.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
Kareem hit him with an elbow, and he's upset now. Bird.
Why Kareem acting like that? Damn. Shot is so clean, man. Just one motion. Ooh, finish on him. Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm.
Inside, getting free. McHale blocks Worthy. Somebody made a momentary lapse on defense. Worthy was wide open for a hit. Bird sends it to Dennis. Harris has come alive in this one. Kevin McHale goes up and spins in for McAdoo. Baseline.
Ooh. Nah. Nope.
Kareem is upset. There's been a common scene. Bird with 23 leads the Celtics. Harris with 22 is second. Here's Dennis Johnson. Inside. McHale. Here's Harris. Where's it go? Harris finding again and a basket counts and a foul. And the Boston Celtics with their relentless up. Cooper puts a fake on and a big shot for Cooper. The rebound, Harris, and the foul against the Lakers. That's up Kareem, and that'll be number 6 for Abdul-Jabbar, if that's the case. And it is. Kareem is fouled out of the ballgame. And if this game goes into overtime, that could be a factor. Keep in mind that the Lakers have the last shot. You know, great players like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson love to be in this situation. He makes one. 8 rebounds. His 32. That's his point total in game number 1. Big free throw coming up. The Celtics tie it up. The Lakers will call their last timeout. Harris steals the ball, and the Celtics call a timeout with 3 seconds to play. Second situation. Bird fires it up.
Bird is so tough. The fact that he even attempted that.
3-1 Los Angeles. Dennis Johnson takes the first shot and hits it. Hit over the point. Bird inside, goes up, gets the basket. 35 seconds remain. We're in overtime. Tied at 123. He misses the first.
Yo, this is what I like about playoff basketball. Let me put myself on the stage. Move from the stage. This is what I like about playoff basketball. It's so intense because there's a difference between the regular season and the playoffs. You could see players are more engaged. Players are more willing to die for the ball, willing to play defense, willing to risk their body. Not really risk their body, but it's like we're in the last stage. You might as well go hard and not think about getting injured or whatever. You're obviously not going to be dumb and do things that will get you injured, but it's like you're going to be aggressive. You're going to be refs might look the other way for some fouls sometimes because they don't want to like control the game too much, where it's like it's not entertaining anymore. It's the flow of the game is all messed up. Like it's not entertaining to watch when it's just foul, 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 foul. And it's like it's not that bad of a foul. Like it's if you're being aggressive, you're being aggressive. But this type of basketball, this is what I love to watch. I think the game is on today, Indiana versus OKC. The game was okay last game, but the intensity was still there. So yeah, that's what I like about playoff basketball. You can it's refreshing to watch hardwood classics, uh Boston versus LA on the classic battle between LA and Boston as they were rivals back in the day. So yeah, it's cool to watch. It's cool to watch, especially when you're watching like Bird and Kareem and Magic go at it. Three legends, to say the least. So yeah, put this back on stage.
And they know it's going to Bird. Magic Johnson ends up having to guard Bird after so many. Watch the clock. Inside. Worthy has got with 10 seconds to play. Kevin McHale picks up the foul as fifth.
Worthy was tough too. He was a different individual too. Like even on UNC, he was tough. Lakers had a solid team, man. So was Boston. Oh, he's celebrating. We're about to win a championship. Oh, so they're saying that elbow, that elbow led to a Celtics championship. Mm-hmm.
Beating the Lakers, I think this is going to turn into one of those all-time great series.
So, let's take that off stage. All right, let's talk about it. So I guess the guy whoever made this video was trying to say that elbow, but Kurt Rambis, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Kevin McHale I did like a video on this, and then there's also like reels, like YouTube reels, like small clips of me talking about this. Kevin McHale was tripping. I guess he's trying to bring the intensity, but Kurt Rambis could have really snapped. He could have really snapped. And I didn't even see when Bird helped him up, because Bird probably knew like that was wrong. That was like Kevin McHale was tripping. But yeah, that was a cool video. That was a cool video. It's just funny how Kareem's the one that threw the elbow and then turned around and tried to size up Bird like Bird's not the one. Like Bird's the one that did him wrong. Like, come on now. That was a funny clip. That was a funny clip. But we're about to get into the next video. What's it called? It's called LeBron James versus Larry Bird. Who you got? Danny Ainge, the Dan Patrick Show. So you're about to get into that video. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you haven't liked the video, hit me with a comment. Yeah, whoever's here, leave some comments. Let me know what you want me to react to. Let me know if you can't hear the audio, or just let me know. Just have a conversation with me. I just need some conversation on stream. That'd be cool. About to get into the video once we get this situated. Let's be log into this. This is number 2. Yeah. LeBron James.
Let's match LeBron's best season against Bird's best season. I think Bird at 30 or 31 almost averaged a triple-double. You remember that season on your list, right? Would you is it similar?
They're just different. LeBron is, he's a cross between, Michael and Magic. I mean, he's such
he is
passer like Magic was. He's so strong like Magic was. He's more athletic, but then he has this ability to score. I think LeBron is very, very special. And I say this all the time when the players ask me who's better. I mean, I think Kareem and Magic and LeBron, those guys are all worthy of being considered the best players of all time. But I think and Bill Russell, but I think that Larry, what he was so special at is just so hard to find. I mean, he was so great, such a great competitor, but also such a great finisher of games. The guy played with amazing confidence. There's a lot of games that we've played against LeBron over the years where he's just been unguardable, and you just can't guard him, and you just tip your hat and say he's just so special. But there are other games where he struggles with his outside shooting, and we're able to win, and he doesn't play with that same sort of confidence with his shot. But his shot's getting better and better and better as he ages. And the more that shot goes in, the more unguardable he just becomes.
Yeah, he just recently passed Bird on my list of the all-time. Reggie Miller and I were talking about it. Reg said, "I love Larry, but LeBron he moved past Larry," and which I understand, and I'm sure Larry would agree with that. But I wonder, Larry in today's generation, shooting the three, how much different he would have been.
He was a great shooter. I mean, Larry didn't shoot the threes. It was just a different era. Like, I tried to get Larry to shoot more threes, and, he wouldn't. I mean, our guys just grew up. We grew up, field goal percentage was important. Now true shooting percentage and scoring efficiency is important, and the three-point line is utilized more and more, and it was evolving. None of us played with the three-point line in high school or college. So, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, with the three-point line, and if Larry had utilized the three-point line more, coming into the game today after playing it in high school and college and coming into the NBA, he'd be one of the great shooters of all time.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.
Yeah, to hear that Larry Bird didn't really use the three-point line as he should, like, I could really see that, because there was clips and there's highlights where he's shooting threes, but he's not excessively shooting threes like LeBron or Curry or all these players. So if he shot more threes, he probably would be higher in the all-time list for three-point shots, higher in the all-time list for the greatest shooters of all time. People still put him as one of the greatest shooters of all time. I put Curry up there. People say Reggie Miller. Some people say Ray Allen. Curry is in my generation, so that's why I would go off of just Curry, because he can shoot the ball off the dribble. He can shoot the ball, catch and shoot, run through like 10 screens and get the ball and still release it, or run through 10 screens, get the ball, pump fake, take a step, shoot it. Like, he can shoot at any capacity. He could shoot from any range, or guarding him from half court. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I put Steph Curry up there. But Larry Bird, if he really, I guess, focused on shooting more threes, like Danny Ainge was saying, he would be considered the greatest three-point shooter of all time, and it probably wouldn't be debatable, because, like, he was just that good at shooting threes. But apparently, he wasn't. He didn't shoot as many threes as the players now. But this is a different time. High volume shooting, faster pace game, and as he said, the field goal percentage was more important back then, because now people are just shooting with no conscience, I guess, and then they'll hear about it after. But when once they get into the game, they just don't want to think about that. It's good and bad at the same time because it's like when you're having a bad game, then you don't want to think about how bad you're shooting and how many shots you missed. But it's like how many games you're gonna have until you have to think about, okay, maybe I should go away from the three and come back to it. Some people just live by the three and die by the three. So Larry was very versatile, and his game was way more complex than just being a 3-point shooter. He could shoot the three. He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, and he barely shot the three apparently. So it's like, come on now. If he shot more threes, he would be even more dominant, which is more scary because he was very dominant in the NBA. So, yeah, we about to go on to the next video. If you guys come in, I don't have anybody in right now, but if anybody comes in, leave a comment. Let me know if you want to go back into the archive and hear me talk about this. But yeah, let me know what you think about Larry Bird and what type of player he would be if he was shooting at a high volume like everybody in the NBA right now. Let me know. We're about to get into the next video. What's the next video? Larry Bird showed Scottie Pippen who's boss. So yeah, we're about to tune into that. Let me get this going.
Scottie Pippen thought he was ready. The Bulls were on a tear, 12-2 in their last 14 games, and Pippen was gaining confidence. But then he ran into Larry Bird, a man who didn't just beat you, he embarrassed you. On this night in 1988, Bird didn't just show Scottie and the Bulls who was boss. He schooled him, humiliated him, and made him question everything. This is the story of the night Larry Bird put Scottie Pippen in his place, and the brutal way he did it. Let's break it down. Right from the jump, Larry Bird was on a mission. He was slipping backdoor along the baseline, creating perfect looks for his teammates and orchestrating the Celtics offense. Meanwhile, Robert Parrish was putting on a clinic in the paint, spinning past Corzine for a smooth 2 points. Bird wasn't just a problem offensively, he was also a defensive menace, showing the kind of grit and hustle that had defined his recent stretch of games. Chicago finally broke through with a Jordan putback off a Vincent missed three-pointer, but Bird's off-ball movement was relentless. He was constantly slipping his defender, getting just enough separation to nail those mid-range pull-ups. While Bird was cooking, Kevin McHale was going to work an early offense, punishing the Bulls with his post-up game. For Chicago, Corzine was battling down low, keeping them in it with some solid work in the post. The Bulls also pushed the pace whenever possible, with Vincent finishing through contact on the break, but Bird was just starting. He found a passing angle at the paint, took full advantage of the space he created by slipping his man, and floated in another bucket. The Bulls tried to counter, with Sellers cleaning up on the offensive glass and making sure Chicago capitalized on their second chance opportunities. The Bulls were hanging tough early, with Jordan finding a cutting Oakley for a smooth layup. But on the other end, Bird was the engine. Off a sideline inbound, he used a pin down to get separation, rising up for a long two from the left corner. And when Boston pushed the tempo in transition, Bird showed off his court vision, going over the head to Parrish, who drove in for an easy bucket. Bird kept facilitating, this time finding a cutting Ainge along the baseline for a quick jumper. Boston's offense was flowing through Bird's playmaking, and McHale was thriving in the post, abusing the Bulls' defense with his footwork and touch. But Bird's facilitating was such a problem that the Bulls resorted to fouling to prevent easy looks under the basket.
Dang.
On the other end, Pippen was struggling to find his rhythm, misfiring on his mid-range shots. Meanwhile, Bird continued to dismantle Chicago's defense, driving inside and drawing the attention of multiple defenders, which opened up the lane for Parrish to slip in.
He was great at that.
Despite Bird's dominance, Jordan was doing his best to keep Chicago in the game, attacking off the dribble and pulling up from the nail to hit a touchdown.
Jordan's so tough.
Bird capped off his incredible first quarter with a putback buzzer beater, giving the Celtics a 33-27 lead heading into the second. Bird's fingerprints were all over this quarter, setting the tone for what was about to be a masterclass performance. Pippen was struggling right from the start of the second quarter. He was battling through screens, desperately trying to contain Bird, but all that effort only led to a foul on Bird. Chicago had no answers defensively, and McHale took advantage, hitting a smooth jumper over Pippen from the right elbow. However, Pippen was holding his own offensively. He pushed the pace, attacking the Boston defense before they could get set. But defensively, it was a different story. Bird was operating like a man possessed, effortlessly creating separation, and draining those mid-range jumpers over Pippen. Pippen tried to counter by slipping along the baseline, finding his sweet spots on offense. But Boston's offense was firing on all cylinders. With Bird drawing so much defensive attention, Ainge slipped to the nail and splashed a clean jumper. Then, Bird hit Pippen with a nasty relocation, snapping Pippen's ankles before driving Bird off the glass. But Pippen kept fighting back. A down screen freed him up for a jumper from the left elbow, and he was cashing in. However, when Bird sat, the Celtics offense hit a wall.
Oh my gosh. Like, he ran through like 3 screens, but did like a route type of thing. I be talking about running routes because people be doing that in basketball. In football, people run routes. In basketball, people run routes through screens and then they'll like go through a screen and then fake one way and then pop out. And you see right there, Larry Bird was running a route through screens, caught it. I'm going to rewind it back, but that was crazy. Caught it and then just went right into one dribble. Scotty just fell on his face. Crazy. Let me see.
Baseline, finding his sweet spots on offense.
Okay. And then the next play.
Boston's offense was firing on all cylinders. With Bird drawing so much defensive attention, Ainge slipped to the nail and splashed a clean jumper.
And then the next one, I think.
Bird hit Pippen with a nasty
Yeah, this one.
Snapping Pippen's
Oh my gosh. Like what? He was so late getting to him. Bird was just so quick.
When Bird sat, the Celtics offense hit a wall. Chicago capitalized on the missed opportunity.
Yeah, like, wow. He got to his spot. Scottie Pippen was so late. Knew he was so late. Recovered aggressively. And Bird was like, this is too easy. This man's out of bounds. Cash. Like, Bird is so fundamentally sound, he makes you look silly. He embarrasses you. And Pippen was not a bad defender, even when he was a young pup. When he was a young bull, pun intended. He was not a bad defender. So it's like, even though he had potential back then when he was a rookie, he still wasn't seasoned. He wasn't in the NBA long enough to really guard Bird and contain Bird. But even in his prime, he couldn't do it. He probably would have did a better job. He probably wouldn't be on the out of bounds when Bird took that one dribble and went through 5 screens. You know what I'm saying? It probably wouldn't happen that way. But Bird is a great player. He wasn't playing against no scrub. This is Hall of Fame Scottie Pippen. Even when he was a rookie, he was a great defender. So it's like, you could just tell they're not going against scrubs. I know like people talked about the 80s and the 90s, how they had bad players, but the stuff that Larry Bird was doing to players, he was doing this against good players. He did the same thing to Dominique Wilkins. Was Dominique Wilkins a bad defender? Let me know in the comments. I don't think so. So like he is a very great player. He's very gifted. The fact that he can do these things and make these great players look crazy says a lot. It says a lot.
Opportunities, with McHale doing his best to keep the Celtics afloat. McHale was feasting in the post, dominating Grant in single coverage and owning the paint. But the Celtics needed Bird, and once he returned, he was right back to business. He slipped his defender and knocked down a mid-range jumper. Bird was so dominant down low that the only way Chicago could stop him was by fouling, and Pippen was racking them up. With the Bulls' defense stretched thin, Danny Ainge took advantage, attacking the gaps and getting to the rim. But Jordan was keeping Chicago alive on the other end, asserting his dominance in the paint and reminding everyone that this was still his court too. Pippen came out aggressive.
Could y'all hear the video?
To get that much needed separation
Let me know in the comments.
Drilling a jumper from the right.
Whoever is watching right now, can you let me know if the audio is good? You can hear.
Parrish was right there to
Tell me what a yes.
Finish the second chance opportunity. The Celtics defense was locked in on closing off Jordan's driving lanes, but that left him wide open at the nail, and he was knocking down those mid-range shots with ease. Meanwhile, Bird was relentless in his off-ball movement, slipping away from Pippen and finding space to dominate the mid-range game.
Mid-range game, crazy.
Corzine was getting it done in the paint, posting up and hitting a smooth hook shot over the Celtics defense. With Jordan attracting a double team, Oakley found himself wide open at the baseline and attacked the rim for an easy layup. However, Boston closed out the quarter with some fireworks. They pushed the pace in early offense, and DJ got a clean look from beyond the arc, splashing a three to extend the lead. But just as the Celtics...
DJ was underrated too.
Pippen had the final say. He beat the buzzer with a clutch jumper, trimming Boston's lead to 68-63 heading into halftime. Bird opened the third quarter in full facilitator mode, finding Parrish along the baseline for a thunderous jam. With the Bulls still packing the paint, McHale adjusted by kicking it out to DJ, who nailed a jumper near the nail. On the other end, Jordan missed a shot at the right elbow, but Oakley was right there to clean it up and capitalize on the second chance opportunity. But Bird was unbothered. He went around his screen and fired from the right elbow, cashing in yet another jumper. The Celtics continued to use McHale as a decoy. With McHale drawing a double team down low, DJ was left wide open under the basket for the easy bucket. Bird then relocated to the right elbow, and with Sellers arriving a step too late.
Are you saying the audio is fair but not great? So do you hear the guy talking? Just reacting to a comment or talking to a viewer. If you're still in here, I don't think he's still in here. Dang. Okay. Let me try to turn this up a little bit. Oh, it's all the way up. I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Back into the video.
He finished through contact, showing his physicality and poise. Chicago responded by clearing out the strong side for Jordan, who hit a long jumper in rhythm. But the Bulls still had no solution for Bird's elbow shots. Every time he relocated, it was another clean look, and he was punishing them for it. DJ was threading the needle to Bird down low, and the Bulls were scrambling, unable to keep Bird from finding space. Meanwhile, Boston was sending doubles at Jordan, but that only left Pippen wide open on the weak side, and he took advantage, driving the baseline for a layup. But those screens freeing up Bird were a nightmare for Chicago's defense. Bird kept working his way through the screens, finishing through contact and drawing fouls. Jordan was doing everything he could to keep the Bulls in it. Even with defenders draped all over him, he was finishing with a tough floater, then powering his way through the Celtics' defense to get all the way to the rim. But Boston's offense kept slicing through the Bulls' double teams, with Bird and McHale finding DJ at the nail for a wide-open jumper. Bird was still the engine of the Celtics' attack, racking up 14 points in the quarter and pushing his game total to 34 points. To close the quarter, Bird capped it off with a relentless drive to the cup. Boston was firmly in control, with Bird dictating the flow and Chicago still searching for answers. The final quarter started with Jordan continuing to be a problem down low, muscling his way through defenders and finishing strong.
Jordan's so tough too.
Jordan and Oakley, and it was working as they exploited the Celtics' defense
He's the GOAT.
in the quarter. But once Bird checked back in, Boston's offense immediately started clicking. He led the break in transition, pushing the tempo and getting the Celtics back in rhythm. However, Jordan remained relentless, thriving in the mid-range. Off a Corzine down screen, he got the separation he needed and buried a smooth jumper. Despite the physicality, Bird kept finding ways to get to his spots. Even while being held, he rose up and drilled a long jumper.
I wonder
right
why.
into his face, showing zero fear. And it was clear Bird wasn't 100%. He was playing on a bum ankle.
Let me know if it's better now.
Himself to keep Boston ahead. But with the Celtics showing help on Corzine down low, Pippen seized the opportunity, cutting straight to the cup for an easy layup. But Bird responded in typical Larry Legend fashion. Despite Pippen's defense, he fought through, got to his spot, and unleashed another long jumper. Jordan wasn't going away, though. He hit a tough mid-range jumper, keeping Chicago within striking distance. But as all eyes were on Bird, DJ seized the opportunity to drive straight to the hoop, finishing through contact with authority. Jordan kept attacking, this time slashing along the baseline with his trademark tenacity. Pippen then stepped up defensively, forcing a turnover that led to a 3-on-1 fast break for Chicago, but it was too little, too late. As the game wound down, Bird received a standing ovation as he headed to the bench, having delivered a 44-point masterpiece against the Bulls.
44
Celtics
points.
put the finishing touches on a 126-119 victory, and Bird's offensive explosion was the difference. And on this night in 1988, Larry Bird didn't just beat the Bulls, he left his mark on Scottie Pippen and the entire Chicago squad. Bird was ruthless, orchestrating the game, slipping screens, draining mid-range daggers, outsmarting defenders at every turn. Scottie Pippen might have been on his way to becoming one of the NBA's elite, but Bird made it clear that night, greatness doesn't just happen, it's earned, and Bird had already earned it. Bird's 44 points was a statement that no matter how hard you tried, when Larry Bird's on the floor, he's the boss. But before you go, If you enjoyed this breakdown of Bird's legendary performance, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic basketball stories. Let me know in the comments, which other legendary matchups should I break down next? Catch you in the next one.
Thanks for the feedback. Okay, so I know I need to do next time. Yeah, that was a great video, honestly. Showing how Larry Bird and Scottie Pippen were competing even back when Scottie was a rookie. And there's stories about Larry Bird talking trash to Scottie and what he said. And I feel like playing against Bird, playing against great guys like that, and then players that will give you the work and also tell you about it really mold you into a great basketball player. And you can see the matchups and the stuff that Scottie had to go through before getting to that Hall of Fame status, that elite defender, two-way player in the NBA. He had to go through battles with Larry Bird for Larry Bird to like really go at him and give him 44 points and also dominate him on the defensive end too, because Scottie was missing a lot at first, and then Scottie kind of regained something, hit some mid-range jumpers, but Larry Bird still handed his ass to him. He had him on the floor. He had his face planted on the floor. So yeah, that was a great video. It was really refreshing to see that. You just see where Larry Bird, where Scottie Pippen started off, and then ended up being one of the greatest players or greatest defenders, two-way players of all time. Yeah, and you can just tell going through all those struggles in your rookie season, your second year, playing against the best players. It's like it's not really a struggle because it's like you're playing against the best competition, and it's like every year you adjust, and you get better and you get better. And you can see even from the stats, you can see that Scottie got better every single year and became one of the most prominent players, prominent two-way players of all time, and Jordan's right-hand man. And he has a lot to do with Jordan's 6 championships and his 6 championships, the 3 in a row twice. He has a lot to do with that. And I don't think Jordan would have been able to do it if they didn't have Scottie. So, and Scottie wouldn't have been able to do it if he didn't have Mike, but they needed each other. So it's like you can see the growth of Scottie and the matchups he had to go against, and the people we had to go against, and is very entertaining watching it. This is a great video. I like this concept. I would like to watch more videos like this, seeing great players go against like great players in their early years go against legends and see how, how the legends were just busting their ass, to say the least. Give them the work. So yeah, it was great. It was a great video to watch. Let me know if you guys want to watch any more videos like that, or like just suggest videos. Let me know. I'm about to sign out, probably come back, or maybe just you'll see me on Twitch. It's Ty Knight M. I think I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch, reacting to Larry Bird, Jordan, other type of players, or just talking about basketball. But if there's anybody here that's in the comments right now, I didn't say there's any viewers, but if there's anybody in that wants to talk about Larry Bird or any type of basketball, or talk about the playoffs right now, I'm willing to talk, because yeah, I'm probably gonna do this stream and then try to go to Twitch, but maybe just like I can just sign out with the conversation, talking about basketball, talking about the NBA, because the NBA is definitely in a good place right now. People were talking about how they hate to see the same teams in the NBA finals, and now we have Indiana, we have OKC, and we have players. I never heard that he used to talk trash to Pippen, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, there is definitely a story about that. I can't remember what exactly he said. I could go and look for it. Let me search for it, and then I can play it. I'm gonna search for it real quick. I'm gonna do a quick intermission. And I'm gonna search for it. Hopefully, it doesn't lag or anything. But yeah, let me look for it. There definitely is a video of it, of Scottie talking about how Larry Bird used to trash talk him. Okay, let me see. Scotty. Wait, Larry Bird talking trash to Scotty. Okay, so yeah, this 1 minute clip. Let me know if it's like lagging when you guys watch the video. I'm about to play it though. Let me take this off the stage. Share screen. Let me show you the video. He talked about it recently, actually.
Could come into this because I heard he was good at this. Biggest and best trash talker. I don't think anybody talks shit to you. But Scotty, who would you like? Who are the ones that, whether they were good at it or not, like who are the ones that were just keep a gabber the whole time?
I mean, Gary Payton talked a lot. But in my era, probably was Larry Bird. You know, he would talk trash and do something tricky, or you know, him, Adrian Dantley, those kind of guys were like big trash talkers. And I can't even say AD was much of a trash talker as he was a dirty player. Man,
dirty guy, like how? Like what? Like
I guess he was teaching me, but he would do that.
Like what did he teach you?
He would do the bag down, and then all of a sudden he'll hook your arm. And he was one of the strongest guys. I mean, he was strong as oak. And he'll just run to the basket, holding your arm. And he had the ugliest shot, you know, he'd like throw it up. And he'd get a foul every time.
And he was short, right?
Short, about 6'4", but I mean, physically strong. Hey man, that dude could score the basketball. Y'all go check the record books. He probably got about 10,000 of them on me.
He was tough.
Oh, he was
like a longer video.
6'5", 6'4" guy. Hello everyone, I spend a lot of time trying to get you guys nice videos, so please subscribe to this page.
Yeah, let me see. Scottie Pippen, and then yeah, Scotty definitely talked about what he said, what Bird said to him. But I'm trying to figure out where this video is, because he actually said what Larry Bird said to him, but I don't know why. Talking trash to Scotty. To Scottie Pippen. So it's like an interview, or this is just okay? Hold up. I heard him talking about it. Well, he mentioned Bird, but I'm pretty sure he said what Bird said to him. I just don't know. Okay, Byron Scott reveals the best trash talk story he heard from Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. Ugh. Why can't I find it? He goes into more detail about it. I don't know. It's not showing it, but yeah, there's definitely a story. Definitely a story about it. But yeah, I've heard about Larry Bird just going at Scottie Pippen every single time. Yeah. Yeah, I heard about Scotty going Larry Bird going at Scotty every single time, especially when he was a rookie. And he was going at him. And I think that was just the more prominent matchup that Scotty had. He had to go against Larry Bird, because Jordan was not guarding Larry Bird because the positions just didn't make any sense. Larry Bird was bigger than Jordan. You just put him in the post and it would just been a bucket all game. So it's like Jordan was athletic, he could play defense, but it's like, why waste his energy Scotty's gonna have to do it. Scotty did the dirty work, and that's what it was. But yeah, I'm about to log off. Like, comment, subscribe. Whoever's watching this, thank you for watching. About to say a prayer. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Whoever's watching this video, bless them from the crowd, their heads to the soles of their feet. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Allow them to have a great week. Whatever they're going through, allow them to be stoic. Allow them to have a strong mind and a sound mind. And not to be fast to be angry with somebody, but to be slow to anger and to have self-control and to be poised, no matter what they're doing. And whatever they're going through, there's always going to be a door that will open that you just didn't know that was possible. You didn't even know that door could open. So whatever success that you're looking for, and if it's not happening right now, just be patient. Don't get in the way of God's timeline. That's the thing. Don't get in the way of God's timeline. You have to really work, put him first, lean on him, and then everything will fall into place. So in the name of Jesus, I pray, bless everybody, allow them to be positive and be optimistic. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. So stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out. Larry Legend, what's good, bro? I see you cooking these dudes.
I always knew how good I was.
We out.